Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
All praises be unto the Most High Almighty Yahweh. This is the SC Community Church of Christ. My name is Brother Shamar.
Brother Rock.
And we bringing you today's report/lesson. All right, before we go into that, it's been a while that we, been streaming a lesson or been gathered because we've been on the road handling the Most High's business, going down to Atlanta and going down to Florida to the brothers and sisters down there and baptizing them and gathering with them. All right, so all praises be to the Most High with that. All right, then coming down, we became an official church. All right, and now since we've become an official church, this is our first actual lesson. All right, and the lesson being brought forth today is the tribe of Benjamin, the light of the world. All right, because what we've been mentioning to people is that this community or this congregation down here is precisely more predominantly Benjamin. All right, and we're going to show how. And Benjamin has a key role in the scriptures. And I don't think the Hebrew Israelites or the Hebrew community or the world has been looking at Benjamin in the right light or understanding truly who the Benjamins are, the tribe of Benjamin, and what their role is in the gospel. All right, what their role is for Christ, what their role was to all the tribes, and how they got there. All right, and how they were dealing with Christ when he was on the earth, and their purpose after when Christ was gone out of the earth. I don't think a lot of people understand Benjamin's purpose. All right, and there's no coincidence why us being Benjamin are in the position we are in today. All right, among all the Hebrew churches out there that are coming out, because Benjamin has a certain trait about him, and we're going to see that inside the scriptures today. All right, so with that being said, we're going to start right at Isaiah 53:1.
All right, this is out of the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 1. Who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
All right, so we always start with this scripture saying, who shall believe our report, and to whom is the arm of the Most High revealed? All right. Many people don't understand that. People didn't believe the prophet's reports. That's why Isaiah would have to say this, because even though they got the things from the Father, even though they were dealing with the word face to face, all right, people weren't believing them when they went out there. All right, people that couldn't really understand who the arm of the Most High is being revealed to, which is Christ. All right, so Isaiah was led to ask this question, and we always start off the reports or the last lessons with this same verse here. All right, and Israel, knowing how the Most High operated in secrecy in how he revealed the word. He revealed the word to a chosen person who reached a certain purity, and he sent the word onto that person, and that person was sent onto the people, and they declared, thus saith the Most High. The prophets or the priests, understanding how the Most High operated, would come and they would have false prophecies, all right, knowing that the Most High dealt with in secrecy, and they will come out and say, the Most High say this and say that, and that's how the false prophets arise. And it was up to the people to be able to discern, to have their ears circumcised and their hearts, and to be able to go into the scriptures and put precept on precept to declare what this person's saying is true. All right, so with that being said, we're not dealing with the Most High face to face, but we are going into our forefathers' records who dealt with face to face and make sure that their transcripts are interpreted and taught correctly. All right, so with that being said, we're going to jump right into the lesson. We're going to go to the birth of Benjamin, and we're going to understand his birth and what took place at that time. We're going to go to Genesis 35 and 16.
All right, this is Genesis 35, starting at the 16th verse. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath. And Rachel travailed, and she had hard labor. And it came to pass, when she was in hard labor, that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was departing, for she died, that she called his name Benoni, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem.
All right. So we see at the conception of Benjamin, he was called Benoni. All right. And that actually, we're going to go into that definition. Give us that definition right there.
So definition for Benoni, this is out of the Hebrews concordance here. H1126, H116, which is strong, Benoni. from age 1121 and age 205, son of my sorrow, Ben-Oni, the original name of Benjamin.
All right, so when she was departing, she was going to call Benjamin Ben-Oni, which is son of my sorrow, but the father overrided that. All right, there's a reason why. All right, going back to when you place a name on a child, that's what the child will become. All right, and she's placing sorrow on the child. So the father indeed called him Benjamin. We're going to go give you the definition of what Benjamin is.
This is the definition of Benjamin here. It's out of Strong's there. Hebrew word H1144, H1144, from H1121 and H3225, son of the right hand, Benjamin, the youngest son of Jacob, also the tribe descended from him and its territory, Benjamin.
All right, so the father changed the name to son of the right hand to give him a better future. And we're going to see that, all right, because you're going to see that his name had him in sorrow, but then because it's son of his right hand, he has a different outcome, all right? But his name was changed from Ben-Oni to Benjamin, all right? Instead of placing the sorrow on him and letting him dwell in the mother's sorrow, put him in the right hand, all right? So we're going to go into the testament of Benjamin, where it's going to elaborate on how he was conceived.
This is chapter 1, verse 1. The copy of the words of Benjamin, which he commanded his sons to observe after he had lived 125 years, and he kissed them and said, as Isaac was born to Abraham in his old age, so also was I to Jacob. And since Rachel, my mother, died in giving me birth, I had no milk. Therefore I was suckled by Bilhah, her handmaid. For Rachel remained barren for 12 years after she had borne Joseph, and she prayed to the Lord with fasting 12 days, and she conceived and bare me. For my father loved Rachel dearly, and prayed that he might see 2 sons born from her. Therefore I was called Benjamin, that is, son of days.
All right, so they have a couple interpretations where they have son of days and they have son of the right hand. All right, so with Benjamin as well, Benjamin was the only child, when you go check it out, he was the only child consumed in fasting and prayer. All right, none of the other children were consumed with fasting and prayer. Benjamin came out with fasting and prayer. Another thing to note, Benjamin didn't have his mother's milk. All right, so not having his mother's milk, we're going to see that the child now was given, you know, his other mother's milk. All right, which we're seeing is the father's. All right, the milk of the scriptures. We're going to see that. All right, but these are the things that happened to Benjamin. Benjamin out of all of them didn't grow up with his mother. All right, and he didn't grow up with her, and he didn't have her milk. All right, and when he was born in fasting and prayer. All right, because she was being afflicted at that time and wanted children. All right, and she wanted to have Benjamin, and they fasted and prayed for Benjamin. All right, so this is what makes Benjamin's birth a little different than the others. We're going to go to Genesis 49 and 27 and give you a little of Benjamin's nature.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 27. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil.
All right, so Benjamin was known as a wolf. He was known as an aggressor, all right, one that would devour the prey. All right, and we're going to see that this stigma is stuck on the people of Benjamin, all right, even going down, we're going to see into the time of Christ. All right, because we've actually spotted and been able to pinpoint Benjamin in the time of Christ. All right, and see that the same stigma is still placed on him. All right, and it was used for something righteous. All right, so we're going to go to now the story of Benjamin, the first happenings of how he was dealing with his brothers. All right, and we're going to see what happened with him in the land of Israel and what happened with Benjamin and the 12 tribes. All right, so we're going to start at Judges 19 and 1.
All right, this is out of the book of Judges, chapter 19, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the site of Mount Ephraim, who took with him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah. And there was 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him. And he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodge there.
All right. So we have a Levite, all right, who's dwelling in the Mount of Ephraim there. All right. He has a concubine that he's taken. All right. And the concubine played a whore against him. All right. And he's gone out to look for the concubine. And he's gone to Bethlehem, Judah. And we're going to see what type of area this is that he's gone to. All right. We're at Judges 19 and 9.
And when the man rose up to depart, he and his concubine and his servant, his father-in-law, the damsel's father, said unto him, Behold, now the day draweth toward evening. I pray you tarry all night. Behold, the day groweth to an end. Lodge here, that thine heart may be merry. And tomorrow get you early on your way, that thou mayest go home. But the man would not tarry that night, but he rose up and departed, and came over against Jebus, which is Jerusalem. And there was with him 2 asses saddled. His concubine also was with him. And when they were by Jebus, the day was far spent. And the servant said unto his master, Come, I pray thee, and let us turn into this city of the Jebusites, and lodge in it. And his master said unto him, We will not turn aside hither into the city of a stranger, that is not the children of Israel. We will pass over to Gibeah.
All right, so they're traveling, all right? He didn't stay the night. They're traveling. He has his 2 asses with him. He has his concubine with him. They were going to go over to a land, and they said they don't want to go to a land of a stranger. They would rather pass over into a land of Israel, all right, into a child of Israel's land. So we're going to see what child of Israel's land they end up passing over to, all right? Continue to Judges 19 and 13.
And he said unto his servant, Come, and let us draw near to one of these places to lodge all night, in Gibeah or in Ramah. And they passed on and went their way. And the sun went down upon them when they were by Gibeah, which belongeth to Benjamin. And they turned aside thither to go in and lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat him down in a street of the city. Salakia. Verse 15. And they turned aside thither to go in and to lodge in Gibeah. And when he went in, he sat him down in a street of the city. For there was no man that took them into his house to lodging.
All right, so what's going on here? They are in the land of Benjamin, all right? And he's looking for, brotherly love, all right? They're looking for a place to lodge, because we all know Hebrew Israelites, their custom was when their brothers are in their land, they give them a place to stay, all right? They give them a place where they could reside. And he even didn't go to a stranger's land because he wanted to go to a child of Israel's land, because he's like, yo, the strangers aren't going to treat us good. Israel's going to treat us right? But we see that they go into this land, and Benjamin is the owner of this land, and it's him dwelling there, and nobody's allowing him to lodge in their house. All right, so continue for us.
Verse 16. And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and he sojourned in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites.
All right, so we have the confirmation. The men of the place are Benjamites. So it's Benjamites who are not doing that. All right, so at this time here, they weren't helping people like that. We know Benjamites now. If you go to the Benjamite area, that might be the area where they might help you the most. A lot of tourists are those people. They like to go to the Caribbean, especially Benjamin, and they always talk about the hospitality that Benjamites show to the strangers there. All right, they love the tourist area because nothing happens to them in those areas, and that's a lot of the Caribbean areas there. All right, but they always love to pinpoint out Jamaica. All right, but that's to show you they didn't start off like that. All right, their starting off was people that wouldn't allow people into their homes, or they were dealing with the strangers around them. And even some of them, when they go that way, when they're the opposite way, that's exactly how they are. All right, continue.
Verse 17. And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a wayfaring man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou?
All right, so they G-checked him. They asked him where you're going, all right, where are you going, and where you coming from. Okay, continue for us, Judges 19 and 22.
Verse 22. Now as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
All right, so they're beating down the house. These sons of Baal, what they're calling now the Benjamites. All right, so sons of Baal all goes back to the spirit. Us being in the New Testament now, the sons of Baal is not a bloodline. All right, this is a spirit, because the spirit of Baal was on these sons of Benjamin. All right, and they were operating right. So we're going to continue.
Verse 23, and the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not do so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house. Do not this folly. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so a vile thing. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them. And they knew her and abused her all the night unto the morning.
All right. So hold on there that they actually wanted to know the man. All right. They wanted to know the man, and they was offering up his concubine, and they didn't want the concubine. All right. They wanted him, and he still offered up the concubine. And Benjamin went in onto his concubine and knew her and abused her all the night morning. All right. All the Benjaminites, or the Benjamites that were around about that time. All right, so they basically, they raped the woman, all right? They abused her. So that's what Benjamin's beginnings start like, all right? That's how his beginnings happen. Continue for us.
And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Verse 26. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was, till it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her upon an ass, and the man rose up and gat him unto his place. And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine, and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coasts of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it said, There was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider of it, take advice, and speak your mind.
All right, so he takes the woman home, his concubine home, and he takes a knife and he cuts her and divides her up and sends all the pieces out, pieces each to the 12 tribes and all the coasts. All right, and there is no deed that was done, like that before. And this was a message. All right, and we're going to see what transpires because of this message. All right, we're at Judges chapter 20.
All right, this is the book of Judges, chapter 20, verse 1. Then all the children of Israel went out, and the congregation was gathered together as one man, from Dan even to Beersheba, with the land of Gilead unto the Lord in Mizpah.
All right, so they were gathered out together as one man. So they banded together as one unit, all the tribes from this doing, because they all got sent pieces of this concubine to their places, all right, to their territories, all right, and they heard of what happened and what Benjamin did, and they were going to react for this. So we're going to see what their reaction was. All right, continue.
Verse 2, and the chief of all the people, even of all the tribes of Israel, presented themselves in the assembly of the people of the Most High, 400,000 footmen that drew sword. Now the children of Benjamin heard that the children of Israel were gone up to Mizpah. Then said the children of Israel, Tell us, how was this wickedness? And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I came into Gibeah that belongeth to Benjamin, I and my concubine to lodge.
All right, so the children of Benjamin, all right, came and they had enough nerve to say, how is this wickedness? So they couldn't even see at that time. All right, how was what they did was wickedness. All right, continue for us.
Verse 5, and the men of Gibeah rose against me and beset the house round about upon me by night, and thought to have slain me and my concubine have they forced that she is dead. And I took my concubine and cut her in pieces and sent her throughout all the country of the inheritance of Israel, for they have committed lewdness and folly in Israel. Behold, ye are all children of Israel. Give here your advice and counsel.
All right, so even here we see Israel taking counsel. We always tell people about counsel. All right, this is why we have a council set up. That council was always set up, and this is where they always went to, or they always got any suggestions from. They always went to a council, all right, and they never just did it on their own or declared something on their own, but they seek the council, all right. And seeking the council doesn't mean you have to listen to the council, okay? You just seek the council, and then usually people either take the advice or they don't take the advice. But the council was there to give you the right advice, all right? So they took a council here, and we're going to see what they came up with.
Verse 8, and all the people arose as one man, saying, we will not any of us go into his tent, neither will any of us turn into his house. But now this shall be the thing which we shall do to Gibeah. We will go up by lot against it.
All right? So none of them will go to his tent, and neither will they let any of them turn into his house. So this was the marriage. Benjamin was going to be able to have any woman from Israel. All right? They weren't going to give them to the Benjamites. Going back then, when they made this swear, this was something that they would keep, all right? Because they had these, if we don't keep this, this is going to happen. Once they make a pledge, a swear, an oath, they keep that, all right? So once they made that pledge, they had to keep that pledge. So Benjamin was cut off from getting any woman of the tribes, all right, at this time. So continue.
Verse 11, so all the men of Israel were gathered against the city, knit together as one man. And the tribes of Israel sent men through all the tribe of Benjamin, saying, what wickedness is that done among you? Now therefore deliver us the men, the children of Belial, which are in Gibeah, that we may put them to death, and put away evil from Israel. But the children of Benjamin would not hearken to the voice of their brethren, the children of Israel. But the children of Benjamin gathered themselves together out of the cities unto Gibeah, to go out to battle against the children of Israel. And the children of Benjamin were numbered at the time out of the cities 26,000 men that drew sword, beside the inhabitants of Gibeah, which were numbered 700 chosen men. Among all this people were 700 chosen men left-handed. Every one could sling stones at a hair breadth, and not miss. And the men of Israel, besides Benjamin, were numbered 400,000 men that drew sword. All these were men of war. And the children of Israel arose and went up to the house of the Most High, and asked counsel of the Most High, and said, which of us shall go up first to battle against the children of Benjamin? And the Most High said, Judah shall go up first. And the children of Israel rose up in the morning and encamped against Gibeah. And the men of Israel went out to battle against Benjamin. And the men of Israel put themselves in array to fight against them at Gibeah. And the children of Benjamin came forth out of Gibeah, and destroyed down to the ground of the Israelites that day 22,000 men. And the people of Salakia, and the people, the men of Israel, encouraged themselves, and set their battle against in array in the place where they put themselves in array the first day. And the children of Israel went up and wept before the Most High until even, and asked counsel of the Most High, saying, shall I go up again to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother? And the Most High said, go up against him. Continue.
All right, we can stop right there. So here we see the battle going on between Benjamin and the tribes. And what people understand, Benjamin is endowed with a power of mighty valor, and we're going to see that so much power that even when all the tribes come against him, it was hard for them to take him down. They actually needed the Most High on their side to take him down. All right, we see how they're dealing with Benjamin. Benjamin's taking them down. This is just them versus them, and they see that the Most High has to actually step in and help them. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna back you. And when the Most High starts backing them, that's when we're gonna see they start taking down Benjamin. But Benjamin is a hard fight to put down. All right, and we're gonna go see that Benjamin has a strong, all right, fighting ability, stronger than all the other tribes. All right, we're going to see that even Christ uses this strength, all right, and uses it for his own protection, as we're going to see, all right, and we realize who Benjamin is in the New Testament. All right, well, continue for us.
All right, it's out of the book of Judges, chapter 20, starting at the 27th verse. And the children of Israel inquired of the Lord, for the ark of the covenant of the Most High was there in those days.
All right, so they inquired of, and you would ask, why would they want the ark of the covenant? All right, because the ark of the covenant has power, all right, behind it. All right, it was a weapon use. They wanted the ark of the covenant to take down Benjamin. All right, that's how dangerous Benjamin is. They are requesting the ark of the covenant from the Most High. All right, continue.
Verse 28, and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, stood before it in those days, saying, shall I yet go out to battle against the children of Benjamin, my brother, or shall I cease? And the Most High said, go up, for tomorrow I will deliver them into thine hand.
All right, so the Most High says he's going to deliver them into their hands. So it wasn't on their own accord. They could not take down Benjamin. All right, and they're requesting Ark of the Covenant. They're doing everything, taking counsel. All right, Benjamin is something else that they got to deal with. All right, and that even connects back to his name as well. All right, Benjamin, which is son of my right hand, which you know, right hand, when you sit on the right hand side, that's hand of power. That's the side of power. All right. Continue.
All right, verse 28. Sorry. Verse 29. And Israel set layers in wait round about Gibeah. And the children of Israel went up against the children of Benjamin on the third day, and put themselves in array against Gibeah, as at other times. And the children of Benjamin went out against the people, and were drawn away from the city, and they began to smite of the people, and kill, as at other times in the highways, of which one goeth up to the house of the Most High, and the other to Gibeah in the field, about 30 men of Israel. And the children of Benjamin said, they are smitten down before us, as at the first. But the children of Israel said, let us flee, and draw them from the city unto the highways. And all the men of Israel rose up of their place, and put themselves in array at Bethlehemar. And the liers in wait of Israel came forth out of their places, even out of the meadows of Gibeah. And there came against Gibeah 10,000 men out of all Israel, and the battle was sore, but they knew not that evil was near them. And the Most High smote Benjamin before Israel, and the children of Israel destroyed of the Benjamins that day 25,100 men. All these drew the sword, so that the children of Benjamin saw that they were smitten, for the men of Israel gave place to the Benjamites, because they trusted unto their liers in wait, which they had set beside Gibeah. And the liers in wait hasted and rushed upon Gibeah. And the liers in wait drew themselves along, and smote all the city with the edge of the sword. Now there was an appointed sign between the men of Israel and the liers in wait, that they should make a great flame with smoke rise up out of the city. And when the men of Israel retired in the battle, Benjamin began to smite and kill of the men of Israel about 30 persons, for they said, surely they are smitten down before us, as in the first battle. But when the flame began to arise up out of the city with a pillar of smoke, the Benjamites looked behind them, and behold, the flame of the city ascended up to heaven. And when the men of Israel turned again, the men of Benjamin were amazed, for they saw the evil that was come upon them.
All right, so they seen the evils that began to come upon them. They never thought they could be taken down. All right, and it's the Most High, and the Most High is punishing Benjamin first out of all of them. All right, and there's a reason why he's doing this. All right, that he's giving, punishing Benjamin right in front of Israel first, and going back to Benjamin. This is a part of his first name. All right, the son of my sorrow. All right, so Benjamin was actually supposed to be destroyed at this time, but because the father changed his name to son of the right hand, we're going to see the changes that happen with Benjamin after this. All right, but continue.
Verse 42, therefore they turned their backs before the men of Israel unto the way of the wilderness, but the battle overtook them, and them which came out of the cities they destroyed in the midst of them. Thus they enclosed the Benjamites round about, and chased them, and trod them down with ease over against Gibeah towards the sunrising. And there fell of Benjamin 18,000 men. All these were men of valor.
All right, so all these were men of valor. All right, give me the definition of the men of valor real quick.
Okay, what's that?
That's right under there.
That's right under there. Okay, this is definition for valor. This is Hebrew word H2428, H2428. From age 2342, probably a force, whether of men, means, or other resources, an army, wealth, virtue, valor, strength, able, activity, army, band of men, soldiers, company, great forces, goods, hosts, might, power, riches, strength, strong, substance, train, valiant, valiantly, valor, victorious, victoriously, war, worthy, worthily.
word is Khalil, all right, and it means probably a force, all right, and it's valor. But there's another word for valor, all right, or valiant man, all right. So just to show you, this is a different type of valiant man. This is a super valiant man, because the original word for valiant man is the word gabar, all right, and we're gonna go to that word. It's used in Deuteronomy 22:5.
Go there.
Yeah. All right. Or it says, "A woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man." And when we go into that word, it says a warrior or a value or a man of the Lord. All right. So she's not to wear that uniform that belongs to a warrior. All right, which we see that do in the army and stuff like that, which they shouldn't be doing. So that is a warrior, a man in the army. That's a man of valor. But Benjamin is superior to that. All right. That's what this word is here showing. All right, he's superior to a man of the Lord, because it comes from that word there, H2342, which is the same word. So, you're to go there.
You want me to get it?
Yeah.
Which word do you want? A man here?
Yeah.
Okay, this is out of the Hebrew word here for man here. H1397, H1397, Gerber or Gabar. Man, strong man, warrior, emphasizing strength or ability to fight. Strong's definition from H1396, properly a valiant man or warrior, generally a person, simply everyone man, ex mighty.
All right, so they're valiant men, all right, men of valor, all right, so they're mighty men.
You want to go into the original one there? This is the Gabar one here.
Yeah.
All right, this is the H1396 here, Gabar, to prevail, have strength, be strong, powerful, be mighty, be great, to be strong, mighty, to prevail. Strong's definition, a primitive root word. To be strong, by implication to prevail, act insolently, exceed, confirm, be great, be mighty, prevail, to put more strength, strengthen, be stronger, be valiant.
All right, so some people have men of valor in their thing, but Benjamin, the whole nation, is men of valor, okay? These are all strong men, and we're going to see that any man that comes from Benjamin has a strength to him, all right? So we're going to continue. And we're going to go to what happened after the fight when Benjamin got taken down, all right? What happened with the daughter situation, them not being able to get daughters from the tribes. All right, so we're at Judges 21:1.
All right, this is out of the book of Judges, chapter 21, starting at the first verse. Now the men of Israel had sworn in Mizpah, saying, "There shall not any of us give his daughter unto Benjamin to wife." And the people came to the house of the Most High, and abode there till even before the Most High, and lifted up their voices, and wept sore, and said, O my power of Yasha'Allah, or Israel, why is this come to pass in Israel, that there should be today one tribe lacking in Israel? And it came to pass on the morrow, that the people rose early, and built there an altar, and offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. And the children of Israel said, Who is there among all the tribes of Israel that came not up with the congregation unto the Most High? For they had made a great oath concerning him that came not up to the Most High to Mizpah, saying, He shall surely be put to death.
All right, so they were like, why is one tribe lacking in Israel? And you're going to see this. So by the time we get to the end of the lesson, you're going to see that this same incident happens later on, all right, in the New Testament, all right, but now Benjamin's on the other side. But there's Israel, he was lacking as a tribe, and then they're seeing how we're going to fill up this tribe, Benjamin. All right? We'll continue for us.
Verse 6, And the children of Israel repented them from Benjamin, for Benjamin their brother, and said, There is one tribe cut off from Israel this day.
All right, so Benjamin was supposed to be cut off at this time. All right, so they're repenting for what happened to their brother Benjamin. And yeah, they realized that he wasn't going to have no children or anything like that, because they were going to give them their children. They made the oath that they were going to keep. All right, so if Benjamin, the males, don't have no woman to deal with, how are they going to have, how are they going to carry on their seed? So continue for us.
Verse 7, How shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing we have sworn by the Most High that we will not give them our daughters to wives? And they said, What one is there of the tribes of Israel that come not up to Mizpah to the Most High? And behold, there came none to the camp from Jabesh Gilead to the assembly. For the people were numbered, and behold, there were none of the inhabitants of Gilead there.
All right, so none of these inhabitants came up to dwell up to the assembly to the Most High. They all stayed there, even though they were numbered. None of them came up there. So they were dealing with the Most High. They were just over there, and they're like, you know what? We could probably go give them these people over there. So let's see what continues to happen over there.
All right, this is verse 10 here. And the congregation sent thither 12,000 men of the valiantest, and commanded them, saying, Go and smite the inhabitants of Gilead with the edge of the sword, with the woman and children. And this is the thing that ye should do. Ye utterly destroy every male and every woman that had lain by men. And they found amongst the inhabitants of Gilead 400 young virgins that had known no man by lying with any male. And they brought them unto the camp to Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan. And the whole congregation sent some to speak to the children of Benjamin that were in the rock Rimmon, and to call peaceably unto them. And Benjamin came again at that time, and they gave them wives which they had saved alive of the woman of Gilead. And yet so they sufficed them not. And the people repented them for Benjamin, because the Most High had made a breach in the tribes of Israel. And the elders of the congregation said, How shall we do for wives for them that remain, seeing the women are destroyed out of Benjamin? And they said, There must be an inheritance for them that escaped of Benjamin, that a tribe be not destroyed out of Israel. Howbeit we may not give them wives of our daughters, for the children of Israel had sworn, saying, Cursed be he that giveth a wife to Benjamin.
All right, so this is the curse that they placed, that cursed be he that gives a wife to Benjamin. So nobody wanted this curse, so nobody wanted to give Benjamin any wives. All right, continue.
Verse 19. Then they said, Behold, there is a feast of the Most High in Shiloh yearly, in a place which is on the north side of Bethel, on the east side of the highway that goeth up from Bethel to Shechem, and on the south of Lebanah. Therefore they commanded the children of Benjamin, saying, Go and lie in wait in the vineyards, and see and behold, if the daughters of Shiloh come out to dance in dances, then come out ye of the vineyards, and catch you every man his wife of the daughters of Shiloh, and go into the land of Benjamin. And it shall be, when their fathers or their brethren come unto us to complain, that we will say unto them, Be favorable unto them for our sakes, because we reserved not to each man his wife in the war. For ye did not give unto them at this time, that ye should be guilty. And the children of Benjamin did so, and took them wives according to their number, of them that danced, whom they caught, and went and returned unto their inheritance, and repaired the cities, and dwelt in them.
All right, so they end up getting these wives, and these wives, they say they're from Manasseh and Ephraim. All right, these are the wives, these are the tribes that was dwelling in these regions. All right, as Manasseh and Ephraim, that they got wives of. All right, in Shiloh. Continue for us.
Verse 24. And the children of Israel departed thence at that time, every man to his tribe and to his family, and there went out from thence every man into his inheritance. In those days there were no king in Israel. Every man did that which was right in his own eyes.
All right, so here we have Benjamin, all right, going out and raping a woman, and the man ended up having to cut her into pieces because she was defiled, and sent her out. And from that, the 12 tribes got the word that Benjamin did this, and this started up a whole war. All right, or Benjamin was going to war with all the tribes, and all the tribes couldn't stop Benjamin. So they're even holding councils. They're asking the Most High for the Ark of the Covenant, and then the Most High backs them up in the end. All right, and Benjamin's smitten so much that he lost all his women, and basically the tribes was mourning because they realized that after this war, Benjamin was supposed to be cut off. All right, so the fulfillment of Son of My Sorrow would have happened, because why? They were in sorrow at that time. All right, so that's what happens when you name a child something. They have to fulfill that. So Benjamin fulfilled the son of his sorrow at that time, because they were all the children of Israel. They were in sorrow, as we see. They were gathered, saying, "What are we going to do with Benjamin? There's a tribe that lacketh. There's all of this." All right. and that was the sorrow part. All right, and but Benjamin his name was changed to Benjamin, son of the right hand, at the last second. All right, so the Most High had a plan for him. All right, that came through the Father naming him, renaming him Benjamin. All right, we're going to go through that part. So we're going to see that Benjamin has a prophecy in Deuteronomy 33 and 12. All right, we're going to go there and read that.
All right, this is out of the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 12. And of Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in safety by him, and the Most High shall cover him all the day long, and he shall dwell between his shoulders.
All right. So it says the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in safety by him. So out of everybody, Benjamin was to dwell in safety by the Most High, precisely. All right. Out of everyone's prophecy, Benjamin was going to be held by the Most High, by him. All right. Dwell in safety by him. All right. Why? Because out of all of them, he was the only one that didn't have his mother growing up or anything. He needed extra protection. So the Most High put extra protection on Benjamin. All right. And you can see that's why they would be like he's going to dwell in safety by him. All right. Because out of Benjamin's upbringing was different from everybody. He was the smallest. He was the least. He was the youngest. All right. We're going to go into the Septuagint version.
All right, this is the same scripture there, Deuteronomy 33, verse 12, out of Septuagint. And to Benjamin he said, the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in confidence, and the Most High overshadows him always, and he rested between his shoulders.
All right, so in the Septuagint it says, the beloved of the Most High shall dwell in confidence. All right, and the Most High overshadows him always. So the Most High is always over Benjamin. All right, we're going to see that. It's always over Benjamin. And the fulfillment of this happens actually when the Messiah comes on the earth. All right, this is when it actually becomes fulfilled. All right, but we're going to go to 1 Kings 11 and 30, and we're going to see what happened at the split of the tribes. All right, and what was Benjamin's role in this split. All right, so Benjamin had a key role when the tribes split, when the tribes divided into two kingdoms. All right, Benjamin had a unique role at that time, and we're going to go revisit that. All right, we're at 1 Kings 11 and 30.
All right, this is out of the book of 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 30. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Most High, the power of Israel. Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and I will give 10 tribes to thee.
All right, so he was telling Jeroboam he's going to rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon. All right, he's going to give him 10 of the tribes. All right, continue for us.
Verse 32. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake.
All right, so he's told, but you're going to keep one tribe. All right, one tribe's going to remain to Solomon. All right, one tribe is going to remain there for David's sake and for Jerusalem's sake. All right, so this one tribe that was to remain had a purpose. All right, it was for the sake of David and for the sake of all of Jerusalem. All right, continue.
In this,
read 32 again.
oh, this is verse 32 here. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, because that they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashereth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Shemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father.
All right, so this is why he gave them the 10 tribes away. All right, because they worship Asher. All right, which we all know go back to Easter and all of that. All right, and they start worshiping the Chemosh. All right, and these different gods of the Ammon and the Moabites. All right, and the Zidonians. All right, so because they were dealing with these gods, the Most High gave them up. All right, but just to show you that this one tribe, guess what they didn't do? All right, they didn't go to those gods. All right, this is why he's keeping one tribe for a certain sake. All right, the other tribes he gave them up. Why did he give them up once again? It's because they forsaken him for other gods. All right, so for him to keep a tribe back means this tribe did not forsake him for those gods. All right, they had a difference. All right, this is what we're going to see always tends to happen with the tribes. All right, all of them always go, and this one does not forsake. All right, so continue.
Verse 34. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David, my servant's sake, whom I chose, because he kept my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and I will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes.
All right, so he told you he's going to take the kingdom out of Solomon's hand, and he's going to give it unto him, 10 of the tribes. All right.
And unto his son will I give 1 tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem.
All right, so unto his son, he's going to give him 1 tribe, all right, that David might have light always before him in Jerusalem. And this is where we're going to go into, all right. So the 1 tribe was to be there for David, and Judah can always have light. All right, we're going to go into what is this light. Well, continue for us.
Okay, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there, and I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all thy soul desireth, and shall be king over Israel.
Give me the definition of light.
So the definition of light out of the Strong's is Hebrew word H5216. Neher, near, neher. From a primitive root, see H5214 and H5135, properly meaning to glisten, a lamp, that is, the burner or light, literally or figuratively, candle, lamp, light.
All right, so you see what they have light in for there. All right, we're going to go search the scriptures and see what the scripture says is the light. All right, well, first, before we do that, we're going to go to 1 Kings 12 and 19 above that.
All right, this is out of the Septuagint. This is 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David until this day. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam had returned out of Egypt, that they sent and called him to the assembly, and they made him king over Israel. And none followed the house of David except the tribe of Judah and Benjamin only.
All right, so Judah, they're the king. So why would they follow anybody else? All right, but the only one that would want to follow the right way was Benjamin only. All right, Benjamin was the only one who wanted to follow the right way. All right, and this is why the Most High chose Benjamin and gave him to Judah. Yep, the 1 tribe. Gave the 1 tribe to Judah, all right, for what? A light. And that's what Judah has to understand, that Benjamin is unto them, all right. Septuagint version of 1 Kings 11 and 36 right there as well, all right.
I decided Septuagint, 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 36. But to his son I will give the 2 remaining tribes, that my servant David may have an establishment continually before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen for myself to put my name there.
All right, so in Septuagint it says establishment, all right. So we all know what an establishment is, all right. A place of residence, all right. An establishment, all right, a business, the temple. This is what he's actually speaking about, all right. And we're going to see that. So Benjamin is to also be a light, and he's to also, him being there, make sure that they have an establishment always. And we're going to see why is that. So we're going to go into the testament of Benjamin.
All right, so the testament of Benjamin here. Chapter 9, verse 1. And I believe that there will be also evil doings among you, from the words of Enoch the righteous, that ye shall commit fornication with the fornication of Sodom, and shall perish all save a few, and shall renew wanton deeds with woman, and the kingdom of the Most High shall not be among you, for straightway he shall take it away. Nevertheless, the temple of the Most High shall be in your portion, and the last temple shall be more glorious than the first, and the 12 tribes shall be gathered together there, and all the Gentiles, until the Most High shall send forth his salvation in the visitation of an only begotten prophet. And he shall enter into the first temple, and there shall the Lord be treated with outrage, and he shall be lifted upon a tree. And the veil of the temple shall be rent, and the Spirit of the Most High shall pass unto the Gentiles as fire poureth out, and he shall ascend from Hades, and shall pass from earth into heaven. And I know how lowly he shall be upon earth, and how glorious in heaven.
All right, so here we have it. All right, in verse 2 there it says, nevertheless, the temple of the Most High shall be in your portion. All right, so it was prophesied unto Benjamin that his portion of the land, the temple of the Most High, will be there. All right, and that it makes reference to the last temple. all right, that's going to be more glorious than the first. So when the time we get to the New Testament, we'll see exactly how the last temple was dwelling in Benjamin's land and what that actually means, all right, in the New Testament. All right, but here we have it that the temple of the Most High is dwelling in Benjamin's portion, and the last temple will be in Benjamin's portion as well. All right, so Benjamin was prophesied to have the temple in his land. But why was Benjamin prophesied to have the temple chosen in his land? We're going to go to the legend of the Jews, all right? And it's going to take us back to the days of Esther, all right, when it was revealed why this was chosen, all right? So continue for us.
All right, this is the legend of the Jews, chapter 11, Esther, Mordecai's pride. The court officials spake and said, Yet we know well that thy ancestor Jacob prostrated himself before Haman's ancestor Esau. Whereunto Mordecai made reply, I am a descendant of Benjamin, who was not yet born when his father Jacob and his brothers cast themselves upon the earth before Esau.
All right, so these officials, they were making mention to Mordecai that we know that your ancestor is Jacob, who prostrated himself, all right, before Esau, all right? And Mordecai had to reply to him because they tried to hit him with something. Okay, you bow down, your relative bow down to, my relative Esau before, way back. And Mordecai had a smart mouth, all right? And he had something to say back to him. So read that sentence again.
Mordecai made reply, I am a descendant of Benjamin, who was not yet born when his father Jacob and his brothers cast themselves upon the earth before Esau. My ancestor never showed such honor to a mortal. Therefore was Benjamin's allotment of land in Palestine privileged to contain the temple, the spot wherein Israel and all the peoples of the earth prostrated themselves before the Most High belonged to him who had never prostrated himself before mortal man. Therefore I will not bend my knee before this sinner Haman, nor cast myself to the earth before him.
All right, so this is Benjamin's stoutness, okay? Benjamin is always riding for the Most High's righteousness. Okay? The temple is in Benjamin's land because of other tribes, Benjamin never bowed down to the other gods. Okay? Neither did bow down to Esau. Okay? Nor any mortal man. Alright? So the place where you're going to worship the Most High and bend your knee has to be a land where that's not going to take place in. Alright? That's Benjamin's land. Okay? Benjamin did not allow that. And that's what comes, the whole thing happened where they wanted to take down the Jews in the time of Esther because of Benjamin. All right, Mordecai standing up for not bowing down to these rulers at that time. All right, and them having a problem with it. All right, they had a direct problem with it. We're seeing here that Benjamin, when it comes to dealing with the Most High, when it comes to dealing with the Most High's truth, is different than all the tribes. All right, they have a different characteristic when it comes to dealing with the Most High's truth. They're riding with his truth more than any other tribes. All right, that's why the Most High chose even his temple to be in their land. All right, because Benjamin is always dealing with him. All right, and he's always overshadowing Benjamin as we see. So continue for us.
All right, hey, there's a bit right here. All right, Haman at first tried to propitiate Mordecai by a show of modesty, as though he had not noticed the behavior of Mordecai. He approached him and saluted him with the words, Peace be with thee, my lord. But Mordecai bluntly replied, There is no peace, saith my power to the wicked.
All right. Well, this is what people try to do. They always try to come do the peace be with thee, so mess you up. And, Benjamin can read through that. Okay. This is how you know this is Benjamin. All right. We can out of all the tribes, we can pinpoint Benjamin to the T because Benjamin has this certain stature about him that does not go away. All right, this is how they're stuck where they're at. This is why, the history that they have, and we're connecting it all. And we're going to see that even in the time of Christ, we're able to find Benjamin based on these things. All right, so we're going to go to Mordecai's bloodline.
All right, this is the legend of the Jews, chapter 11, Esther, Mordecai. The descendant of Mordecai and of his niece Esther is disposed of in a few words in the scripture, but he could trace it all the way back to the patriarch Jacob, from whom he was 45 degrees removed. Beside the father of Mordecai, the only ancestor of who is mentioned by name is Shimei, and he is mentioned for a specific reason, This Shimei is none other than the notorious son of Gera, the rebel who had so scoffed and mocked at David fleeing before Absalom that he would have been killed by Abishai. If David had not generously interfered in his favor, David's prophetic eye discerned that Shimei, the ancestor of Israel's savior in the time of Ahasuerus. For this reason he dealt leniently with him, and on his deathbed he bade his son Solomon reserve vengeance until Shimei should have reached an old age and could beget no more children. Thus Mordecai deserves both appellations, the Benjamite and the Judean, for he owned his existence, not only to his actual Benjamite forebears on his father's side, but also to the Judean David, who kept his ancestor Shimei alive. Mordecai mother's bloodline.
All right, so here we have it. All right, Benjamite, but they bring him to Judite because the Judean allowed him to be his family to stay alive. All right, I want you to also note here that they have Benjamite here, and the Judean. All right, these two terms here together. So we have Benjamite being separated from the Judean. All right, just want you to pay attention to those wordings as we go along. All right, but continue for us.
On his mother's side, Mordecai was in very deed a member of the tribe of Judah.
All right, so here we see Mordecai's mother. She was a member of the tribe of Judah. So when that thing went out, that Benjamin wouldn't have none of the tribe's women no more, he still ended up getting their woman. As we see here, Mordecai was a mixed race, all right, or a mixed tribe, I should say, being of Benjamin and Judah. All right, continue.
In any event, he was the son of Judah in the true sense of the word. He publicly acknowledged himself as a Jew, and he refused to touch of the forbidden food which Ahasuerus set before his guests at his banquet.
All right, so he acknowledged himself as being a Jew. So here we have Benjamite, we have Judean, and we have Jew. All right, and just want you to pay attention to those as we go along. We're probably not going to reach that part this week, but just I'll keep mentioning to pay attention to these separations of Benjamin, Judean, and the term Jew now being used. All right, where Mordecai says he's a Jew. All right, so he's a Jew, but he's not a Judean as we see here because he's a Benjamite. All right. So we're going to go to Judah giving the lamp again after these happenings. All right, so we're going to go to that reign where the lamp, where they're giving the tribe again. All right, where they're giving Benjamin as a light again.
All right, this is out of the book of 1 Kings chapter 15, starting at the first verse. Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with the Most High his power, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake did the Most High his power give him a lamp in Jerusalem, to set up his son after him, and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Most High, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, say only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite.
All right, so the Most High gave David this light because David did everything in the eyes of the Lord. All right, this was just a recap of the same incident there. All right, so he gave him the light. All right, which was Benjamin, because David didn't stray, didn't turn aside from anything the Most High commanded him. So he's like, okay, I'll give you the light. All right, which was the tribe which we see is Benjamin. All right, so we're gonna go into what is the light. All right, so what is this light that Benjamin represents? So we're at Sirach 24 and 27.
All right, this is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 24, verse 27. He maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light, and as Gion in the time of vintage.
All right, so he maketh the doctrine of knowledge appear as the light. All right, so Benjamin is the one endowed with doctrine of knowledge. All right, that's what Benjamin has been endowed with. All right, that's why he could be a light unto them. How else can he be a light unto anybody else? All right. So we're at Sirach 24 and 32.
This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 24, verse 32. I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will send forth her light afar off.
All right, so it says, I will yet make doctrine to shine forth as the morning. So doctrine is this light. It shines like the morning. Everybody knows when, the morning light comes up, how bright that is when you're coming through darkness for the whole night. All right? So the doctrine shines as the morning. This is the light. All right? And there's no coincidence that we've been saying for a long time, this community down here is a Benjamite community. All right? And the Most High has endowed us with the doctrine that he wants us to be dealing with. And we've been moving towards and perfecting it and getting better and adding to it. But it's clear that the doctrine that he's given to us is different from anybody else's doctrine anywhere else. All right? When it comes to the Hebrew Israelite community. And we are a Benjamin. All right? We are Benjamin. It's Benjamin that had to make the separation, all right, from the Hebrew Israelite communities and do something different, all right? Set up a different type of congregation on different type of principles, on different types of laws, all right? Different type of understanding, all right? And had to fight to do that, all right? We had to go to battle, all right? The start of that was a battle, okay, that we had to keep up with, all right? Because the other Hebrews, they're strong and they're big and they have a whole bunch of people. Even though Benjamin is small, Benjamin's able to take them down and able to fight them off and to gather those who they're able to gather. All right, so a lot of people don't know the history of what it is like to go up against these people, because many times you just want to be finished or done, but we're battling for something. All right, we're battling for the truth. We're battling for doctrine, and we're battling for it to bring it out to the people. All right, this is Benjamin always sticking up for the right things once again. All right, Benjamin always sticking up for that out of all the tribes. All the tribes going to go the other way. Guess who's going to wake up out of nowhere and the Most High is going to restore it? It's going to be Benjamin, because Benjamin has to be the light. All right, Benjamin is the light of the world. And that's what we're going to see. He's the light of the tribes and he's the light onto the world. All right, we're also going to show, let me show you Benjamin and Joseph's bond, all right? Because Joseph was like a type of Christ, all right, the way he was. And Benjamin was close with Joseph, all right? So we're at Genesis 45 and 12.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 45, verse 12. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that his brethren talked with him.
Stop right there. So, all right, so when Joseph was being afflicted, all right, Benjamin was we call weeping with Joseph. He was weeping with Joseph first, and then he was weeping with his brothers. But Benjamin and Joseph had a certain affection together. All right, they had a certain affection, and also Joseph understood Benjamin. All right, we're gonna go into the book of Jasher. We're gonna see that Joseph knew. Yeah.
That's why they got the wives from Manasseh. Because they were a family. The same bloodline. Exactly.
Yeah. And even to show you that he was supposed, because you would think that Benjamin would join them because it's his family who's ruling on the other side, and he didn't go join his family. He's like, you know what? Even though your family, I'm gonna be on this side over here. Right? And we see that they have a certain bond together. And we're gonna see that Joseph even knows that Benjamin is highly knowledgeable, and this is happening in Jasher, where Joseph knows that Benjamin's gonna be able to have this type of knowledge. All right, we're gonna go into that. So we're at Jasher 53 and 17.
All right, this is out of the book of Jasher, chapter 53, starting at the 17th verse. And Joseph said unto him, Hast thou begotten any children? And he said, Thy servant has 10 sons, and these are their names, Belar, Belcher, Ashbal, Gera, Naaman, Achai, Rosh, Mupim, Chupim, and Ord. And I called their names after my brother, whom I have not seen. And he ordered them to bring before his map of the stars, whereby Joseph knew all the times. And Joseph said unto Benjamin, I have heard that the Hebrews are acquainted with all wisdom. Dost thou know anything of this? And Benjamin said, Thy servant is knowing also in the wisdom which my father taught me. And Joseph said unto Benjamin, Look now at this instrument and understand where thy brother Joseph is in Egypt, who you said went down to Egypt. And Benjamin beheld that instrument with the map of the stars of heaven, and he was wise and looked therein to know where his brother was. And Benjamin divided the whole land of Egypt into 4 divisions, and he found that he who was sitting upon the throne before him was his brother Joseph. And Benjamin wondered greatly. And when Joseph saw that his brother Benjamin was so much astonished, he said unto Benjamin, What hast thou seen, and why art thou astonished? And Benjamin said unto Joseph, I can see by this that Joseph my brother sitteth here with me upon the throne. And Joseph said unto him, I am Joseph thy brother. Reveal not this thing unto thy brethren. Behold, I will send thee with them when they go away, and I will command them to be brought back again into the city, and I will take thee away from them.
All right, so here we have it. Where Benjamin, all right, who gave him the map of the stars and said, yo, see, find your brother, all right? Benjamin's able to divide it up and be shocked that, yo, this is Joseph right in front of him. And then he says, don't tell this on to the rest of the tribes, all right? So here we have a special relationship between Benjamin and Joseph, all right, to where he's dealing with Joseph more so, because Benjamin didn't want to deal with those things that was happening to Joseph, all right? I'll stop it there, actually. It's going to go on to another topic there. All right, so I guess we'll stop it there, all right? Today we're just going to come up to the understanding that Benjamin is the light, all right, that was given onto the tribe of Judah, all right, was given onto David, all right? And Benjamin being the light that represented doctrine, that represented knowledge, that represented understanding, all right? Because we have Levi, who's the priest, we have Judah, who's the king, but who's going to deal with the doctrine, all right? This is where Benjamin was coming in. Benjamin was dealing with the doctrine, and Benjamin was also the ones protecting, all right? Protecting the law, protecting the doctrine, protecting the light, all right? So with that being said, all right, we want to say all praises be unto the Most High Almighty Ahaya. This is the Essene Community Church of Christ. My name is Brother Shamar.
Brother Arak.
All right, I'm bringing you this week's Shabbat report. All right, hope everybody got the understanding that, you know, Benjamin, all right, had a history where he was supposed to be in sorrow. He was supposed to be diminished, all right, and because the father changed his name to son of the right hand, he has a little different ending, all right, and we've seen him fulfilling the sorrow, first being that, you know, that wicked tribe, that raped woman, that, you know, was gonna, what we call, be destroyed out of the land, not having any women after that, the children of Israel not giving them any women, and them changing and being something after that, all right? And after the tribe split, them being the one tribe that went on to David, and their purpose for David and Judah was to be a light unto them, all right? And we went into what the light meaning is, and this light is doctrine, all right? Doctrine is light. That's what the scripture says, all right? And we all know light is knowledge, all right? Wisdom, understanding, all right? So with that being said, Shabbat Shalom, and we'll be back next week, all right, with part 2, where we're going to go into more understanding on Benjamin being the light of the world, and we're going to connect it to the New Testament and Christ. All right, this was just in the Old Testament, his understanding what his role was. All right, next week we'll go into the New Testament and how we can detect who Benjamin is in the New Testament. All right, so with that being said, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.